We're back with Dr. Cox, hoping to give you parents a little bit of an update on the coronavirus, and we want to be coming back every once in a while with frequent updates. And so we're here with Dr. Cox to ask him some questions. Dr. Cox, can you tell us a little bit of an update with the coronavirus? Is it here in America?
Sure, yeah. So on our last video, we talked about how this new coronavirus is spreading throughout the world, but also just to emphasize that coronaviruses spread in Utah, that this family of viruses isn't new to Utah, that we have coronaviruses here already. This is just a new coronavirus. The spread of the virus over the last couple of weeks has spread to various countries outside of China. We've also had some, what looks like some community spread of the virus in states on the West Coast, including Washington. So it looks like this virus is coming closer to us, and I think it's highly likely that we'll start seeing some cases here in Utah in the next 2 to 3 weeks would be my guess.
How does coronavirus spread?
So coronavirus is a respiratory virus. So it's spread, if you have the virus, you typically have fever, cough, runny nose, congestion, similar to flu symptoms. So it's spread if you touch your nose or your mouth and you touch somebody else, or you touch an object and somebody else touches that object and then they touch their nose or mouth, they can get that virus. It's not spread through the water. So it's not something you're going to, out of your tap water, that you're going to pick up this virus from your water. This virus is not waterborne, it's respiratory. So you don't need to worry about contaminated water.
Who seems to be affected by the coronavirus? Should we be worried about our children?
A great question. So in the initial studies, so we're starting to get some studies coming out about the initial cases of coronavirus. In China, there was a study that summarized the first 72,000 cases of coronavirus. Interestingly enough, in that group of 72,000 cases, less than 2% of the cases were in children or youth under 20 years of age. That's a lot lower than I would have guessed. Usually kids are the first ones to pick up these viruses, but at least in that study, the majority of people who are getting this virus were older. Another thing to mention from that particular study is that there were, of the 1,000 plus deaths that they reported in that study, none of those deaths occurred in children under 10 years of age. And so I think that's important to note, just that it doesn't seem to be a very severe virus, at least initially it doesn't seem to be very severe among children. That's opposite of what we usually see with respiratory viruses. So for parents out there that are wondering, is this going to be severe for my child? At least initial reports indicate that it may not be very severe. Also, speaking to that point, that initial study, the same one that I was mentioning, 80% of the people in that study that had the coronavirus, that were confirmed to have coronavirus, 80% of those people had just very mild symptoms, like maybe just a little bit of a runny nose, some congestion, maybe a little bit of a cough, but not severe symptoms, and they recovered quickly and without any problems. And that's just of the people that had confirmed coronavirus. So there's likely a lot of other people in China who were never tested that also had it, but also had just very mild symptoms. That also looks to be the case in Washington state, where it looks like there's community spread of the coronavirus, and there's likely more cases there than were actually tested positive for. There's likely a lot more cases there that haven't been picked up, and yet those people have very mild symptoms. So I think overall, I would encourage you to know that most of the people who get this virus are going to recover quickly. You're not going to have any major illnesses from it, and it'll have a speedy, quick recovery.
Okay, well, thank you so much for answering a couple questions, and you will be giving us updates as this develops, if it develops, so that our patients can feel better.
Yep, so we'll be giving some updates in the coming weeks for parents out there to update them on the spread of this illness, but for now, it's going to be okay, everything's going to be fine, and we'll keep you updated.
Great, thank you so much.